Coming up next, connecting tips for any industry, and then the secret to not being bothered by the world around you. We'll take your calls and your chats, and it all starts right now. I am coming to you live from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do in your work, through your work, where you can do that, and then how to get there. It is about your purpose. We want to connect your personal vision to your professional mission because they are connected. You were created to work. You were created to contribute. You were created to fill a unique role. That means you are tremendously valuable and you are needed. So you've got to do it. You don't get to just wave this purpose away and ignore it without consequences. You can certainly do that. But if you don't show up and be the best version of you because somebody out there needs to encounter you today and the next day and the next day, then you're going to get to the end of your journey and you will be full of regrets as opposed to getting to the end of your journey and being full of memories to reminisce about. So join us, will you? 844-747-2577. That's the phone number to call in. You can call in right now. We're here every day, Monday through Friday, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You can call during that hour live. Madison is standing by. She's the best. She'll get you ready. She'll help you get ready to ask your question. And then I'm telling you, I'm going to take good care of you. You have the answers to the age-old question, what should I do with my life? And I can pull them out of you. I really can. So join us. You can also submit your questions via the chat room. For those of you that are afraid to call in, but it better be specific so that I can answer it to the best of my ability. And while you're watching, give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying the show, subscribe, and share. The show is growing because of you. YouTube pays attention to the likes, to the shares, and to the subscriptions. And so help us keep this ball rolling because people are calling the show literally from around the globe. You can also get the podcast of the radio show wherever you listen to podcasts as well. So lots of ways to engage. But first, just some thoughts here today that again, there's some data I want to share here that back up what I've been saying for a long time. It's why I wrote my best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, that it is connections that move you forward. Connections are the currency for progress. New data, research by LinkedIn. If you don't believe my opinion, let's get some data, shall we? New research by LinkedIn says that up to 85% of jobs are filled through connections, personal connections. Yet, most candidates still spend a majority of their time looking for postings and then applying directly. And I say, use the proximity principle. The right people, the right places will allow me to find the right connection. And then somebody's walking my resume into the hiring manager. So a couple things I just want to roll through here really quick, just some thoughts on how to bolster your opportunities through your connections. Here we go. Number one, add value. Try to add value to other people, acquaintances that you feel like, hey, I may be reaching out to them, but before I reach out to them for a connection, maybe I should do something valuable for them. Show some value. So that when you ask for the connection, they go, I have a good taste in my mouth about this person. They showed me value. They did something for me. Stay in touch. Add value. Stay in touch. Make sure you're cleaning up social media. And I don't mean bonehead things. Of course, that goes without saying. If you've got stupid posts that make you look like a bad character person or at least a questionable character person, clean it up. Clean it up. But put some good stuff on there. That's what I'm talking about. Put some accomplishments on there. All the social media accounts. Put some clear things out there about what you want, why you want to do it. And then this is a new thought I've never shared with folks on the show before, but it's about batching your connections. I think one of the things that's intimidating for folks when it comes to reaching out and connections is that you don't know where to start. And I think batching connections is a great way to do that. So you think, okay, here are my acquaintances from my kids' lives. So we know each other through youth sports or other youth activities. So you're bouncing into these parents. You have friendly conversations when you're there. So I batch them into that category. Then former coworkers, you get the idea. Batch your connections, and then it becomes less intimidating when you can go, okay, I know 15 people over in this little category. I know 25 over here, whatever it is. And then you can reach out and it feels less intimidating. All of those tips right there that I gave you, that allows you to get the job, to beat the competition. If 85% of people are getting their jobs through social connections, why would you play the lottery and just apply online? And by the way, for those of you that are new to the program and you're hearing this, it's why I wrote the #1 best-selling book, The Proximity Principle. It is the proven path that will lead you to the career you love. Go get it. KenColeman.com. Read it, do it. I give you all the strategies. I tell you the people and the places that you need to be around and in. Go get it. But build the connections, and opportunities will come knocking on your door. And who doesn't want that? 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Also coming up in a little bit, I've got some more really encouraging Momentum Monday emails. ask@kencoleman.com is the email address. You can also follow me on Instagram @KenColeman, and you can send your message that way. You can DM. But I love sharing these stories of momentum, people making progress. We want you to share those. Every Monday, we brag on you folks out there that are just making some progress. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be something huge, but it's progress. And it encourages others to hear your stories as well. So please forward those stories to us. ask@kencoleman.com. All right, to the phones we go. San Diego, California is where we're going to start. Shell is on the line. Is that Shell? I said that right? Okay. Shell, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, how are you? This is Shell.
Hi, how are you? I'm living the dream. What's going on?
Awesome. So I have a question for you. I'm currently working in the hospitality industry, and I just recently found my dream job and decided what I wanted to do. And my current job is definitely not related to what I'm doing or what I want to do in the future. And
which is what?
Honestly, I want to be a financial coach. I'm with Dave Ramsey's financial coach master training program right now.
Sure, good.
And to be honest, I'm very miserable at work. Yep. I feel like I'm set up for failure. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm getting spread thin, and I don't really feel appreciated at work.
Okay.
So my question is, I don't know if I should be patient until I find a job that will help me get started with my dream job, maybe even possibly ask for a raise, or if I should just leave my job as soon as possible and find whatever I can until I can find a job that can help me get started.
Yeah. Okay. How much do you make right now financially?
I made $14 an hour. I was hired for full-time, but currently with COVID, I'm definitely not getting the full-time. Mm-hmm. And then I also very recently learned that the new employees that were hired for the same position were getting paid more.
Yeah. I get it.
And I was also under the impression that I would be getting a raise on top of the raise I would get due to minimum wage going up, but never really. Everything's been swept under the rug.
Yeah, I get it. It's not a healthy place for you because of all of those things, and you're a human being, and it's hard not to feel undervalued. Let's just use one term that wraps up all of that stuff. So the question is, when you say, so option A is you stay there and be patient until you get this financial coaching business up and running. Option B is you leave and let's get 40 hours a week at least, making at least $14 an hour. And on the surface, I like that option. Now the question becomes, is there a C where so that's my B. C would be, you're saying, Ken, do I leave and move into a job that puts me on the path to my dream job? What would that be? What job are you referring to, or type of job that would get you set up and give you valuable experience and get you some skills that would make you a better financial coach? Do you have something in mind, or were you just kind of saying that in general?
Yeah, I've been applying here and there. I'm not very picky at this point because I'm realizing that's very hard to find a job at the moment. I originally get myself a deadline of January, February for me to find a new job.
Yep.
I'm hoping to maybe apply more into like administrative side where I know.
You know what I think?
I learn how the business is working.
Here's the deal. You're going to have to grow this financial coaching business, and you're in the best training program in the world. Our financial coach master training is great. It's going to teach you how to build your business as well. But that is a one-to-one. You got to build it one happy client at a time. It's going to take time. So I want you to steel yourself. I'm sure they've told you this, that you can go out and build it and grow it and do very well, but you're going to have to build it on the side. So I think the mindset now is, let's go get 40 hours a week, because you're not getting 40 right now. And so let's stay where you are until you find a 40-hour a week job making 14 or more an hour. And maybe it's 2 part-time jobs to equal the 1, which is fine. Because right now I want you just making some more money and feeling good about yourself. And I think you coming from the hospitality industry, I love the idea of the admin assistant work, because, you serve people, you're just good at it. You've got a great background. And so I think you're wide open to things, maybe even food delivery or something like that, where you can hustle and learn and grow and be listening to audiobooks while you're driving around. I just think there's a lot of options for you. And I think for you, you're going, what are the industries that are hopping despite COVID? And I think you look for opportunities there, because it's just a day job. And so there's no shame in your game, and it gets your juices going again. You feel like, hey, I'm making more money now because I'm working 40 hours and I am moving towards the dream. I like that option, but I would not leave the hotel. You didn't even tell me. I would not leave the hospitality industry until you've got that day job secured. But I think if you do that, it's just going to give you some great juice. And you know what? You need to get out of that environment. There's no redeeming that. It makes you feel crappy about yourself, which, by the way, I don't want you to buy that lie. Those other people that have come in, Shell, they're not worth more than you. Do you hear me? They're not better than you either. Okay?
I needed to hear that.
I know.
Really good.
I know. But listen, just because you're in a situation with poor leadership and poor management, you cannot let this current situation become your sentence. It's your situation, not your sentence. You are not sentenced to a life of crappy work and feeling and being treated undervalued. Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
All right. You believe that today, Shell?
I do.
Good, because it's the truth. Get your chin up. And let's get a little chip on our shoulder. I don't know how old you are. Joe, I'm realizing that at 46, I'm increasingly older than a lot of people, and I've got a lot of my phrasing that I use, and I go, do people even know what that means? So, Shell, I must ask, do you know what that means to get a chip on your shoulder? Do you know what that means?
Actually, no.
I didn't think so. I knew it, Joe. How did I know? All right, now listen, Shell, what that means is it's kind of, I needed to go do the backstory and learn this so I can explain it better, but the idea is it comes from, if I put let's just say I put a wood chip up on my shoulder and I say, go ahead, Shell, knock it off. Just, I dare you to knock that chip off my shoulder and see what happens. It kind of comes from that idea. Do you understand that?
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. Here's what it means. I want you to get motivated to show those people that you're working for right now how valuable you are. Now, we're not going to be spiteful. You're not going to send them nasty letters and emails and texts when you leave. You're not going to send them all these photos of you winning big in life and go, see, you idiots, you didn't know how great I was. We're not going to do that, but we are going to use them as motivation to prove them wrong, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what I want you to do. Get a chip on your shoulder and go show the world how valuable you are. You hear me?
Yes.
There we go. She's back, folks. Don't mess with Shell. She's on fire, ready to go. I'm really proud of you, Shell. 844-747-2577. Hey, folks, I'm just going to say this. I'm looking right at somebody right now. I'm looking right into your soul. Look at me. Those of you who feel undervalued, you feel like you don't matter. You feel like nobody appreciates you. You feel like you've been mistreated. Look at me right now. Look at me right in the eye. If you need to call me just to hear me tell you that you are valuable, that you do matter, and that you do have what it takes, then call me. I don't always have to give decision advice and career advice. If you just need somebody to talk to, somebody who does love you, who does value you, who does believe in you, and will shoot you straight, kind of shake you up and get that smile back on your face and a little spring in your step, I'm waiting for you right now. Call me, 844-747-2577. If you're looking at me right now and you go, Ken, that's not me, but it's my brother, it's my mother, it's my cousin, it's my coworker, tell them to call me. It's a free call. You don't get free counseling like this, folks, anywhere but the Ken Coleman Show. Take advantage of it. 844-747-2577. Up next is Amanda in Boston, Massachusetts. Amanda, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. Thanks so much for taking my call.
You bet, Amanda. What's going on today?
I want to talk a little bit about my dream job. It's to be a personal assistant.
Yes, I love it.
And the question that I have is, how do I appear confident in getting my first client when I don't have any experience in the field?
Well, I don't know that that's true. Can I try to poke some holes in that I don't have experience statement?
Yeah.
All right. So in your words, I want you to just take about 20 seconds, and you don't even have to make it in a pretty sentence. I want you to just rattle off the characteristics, so that's the character qualities, the talents, the passion, the work that somebody who wants to be an administrative assistant, what do they possess? You just describe. Rattle that off for me.
I think they're organized. Mm-hmm. They're an incredible listener. Mm-hmm. They're really willing to learn new things. Mm-hmm. They can, they're really good in high volume, high pace kind of environments. Mm-hmm. I think really they just have to really be connected with the person who they're going to be assisting, need to really be aligned with what that person is doing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like then they'll know that's kind of a good fit.
Yeah. Okay. How long have you been in the workforce, Amanda?
10 years.
10 years. What have you done in 10 years?
I've done many things.
Just give me the quick list.
I worked in a tool center as a medical records specialist, as a waitress, as a solar analyst.
Wow.
And some other retail things. Okay,
great. And now let me read your list back to you. You said a person that would be really good as an admin assistant would need to be organized, a good listener, willing to learn, good with learning, handling pressure or spinning a lot of plates would be a way of saying that, really good at connecting with that person that they're serving. That was your list. As you look back on the 10 years of work experience, medical records, there was an analyst role, there was a waitressing server role. Do you feel like you have experience in that list of things that it would take to be good as an admin assistant?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I love it when I'm right. So you see where I'm going here? You've got a mindset that says, because I've never held the actual title of admin assistant, how could I ever possibly convince somebody that I'd be a good admin assistant? As opposed to the mindset of, hey, here's what it takes to be a good admin assistant. What do I have in my tool belt of talent and passion, work that I've done and work that I enjoy. Let me ask you this. Do you love organizational work, Amanda?
Yeah.
Do you love listening to people for the purpose of figuring out what really needs to be done and how it needs to be done?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy learning new things, willing to learn new things?
Yeah.
Are you good at connecting with people?
Yes.
And one more, just to put the nail all the way in. Do you handle the pressure and multitasking? That doesn't stress you. That kind of gives you the juice. True or false?
It stresses me a little bit, but it also gives me juice.
Yeah, there we go. All right. So the mindset is that as you are connecting, because you need to be using the Ken Coleman strategy of connecting. I led the program off with that today. 85% of jobs come through personal connections. And I'll give you the best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, that I wrote, which is all about the right people in the right places leading to opportunities for Amanda. So I'm going to give you the manual. Yes, ma'am. Happy to. And what I want you to do is you begin to craft this story of all of those previous experiences. If you use the Ken Coleman resume template, the resume guide rather, at kencoleman.com, then you're going to share a narrative in one page the way I tell you to do it. That's free. The resume guide's free at my website. And then you're going to tell a story that basically goes, I've got all this experience. Now I want to put it together in an admin assistant job. And you're going to talk to everybody you know. And they're going to ask them to talk to everybody they know. And you're going to find admin positions online. And you're not going to apply cold, Amanda. You're going to shake the relationship tree like I teach you in the proximity principle. And you're going to start hanging out with, having coffee with, or talking to, Zoom conversations, lunch, social distancing in the park, whatever is appropriate these days. And you're going to hang out with women and men that are admin assistants. And they're going to open up doors for you as well, Amanda. And so this thing is just going to happen for you. Have I answered all of your questions?
Yes, definitely.
Amanda, you got this, don't you?
Yes, and I'm excited to call back when I get my first client.
Well, you said it was your dream job, so I want you to do a dream scream after you tell everybody what you did, because I want you to be the hero. I want them to hear what you did. All right, now, this is really cool. So hang on the line. Madison, let's get Amanda whatever version of the proximity principle she wants, audiobook, ebook, or the hard copy, which, by the way, the rest of you can get all three versions for one price of $20 at kencoleman.com. And, Joe, this is very exciting. I just found out before the show today that from the resume guide, which hundreds of thousands of people have downloaded, where we show them how we flip the resume and it looks totally different, the team got together and did a bunch of designs. In fact, I got to do this right now, Joe. Folks, at kencoleman.com, you can get for $9.99. We've got a bunch of new, sizzle, hot, amazing resume templates that are all different types of looks and feels. And it's only $10 for all of these. You think you get 5 of them. This is all brand new. This is very exciting. And so you can get these at kencoleman.com. And $9.99. And you get all these super cool templates. And I've seen them all. They look fantastic. So that's at the website as well. So there it is, right there on the store page. Ken Coleman resume templates, $9.99, Joe. And these things are fantastic. There's 6 of them. And then we give you instructions and then do's and don'ts of applying with all this stuff. $10, 6 really handsome templates. So that's brand new. Very excited about that. So go check that out because we've been giving away the resume guide forever. What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, that's great.
Wouldn't you like to have 6 nice templates to choose from?
It would fit in any particular job category you're going for.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, very good. All right, Joe, I think it's time. I think before we get to the chat, I want to do some Momentum Monday. Can we celebrate some folks, Joe? Oh, yeah, that's our Momentum Monday. You know, that'll give you the juice. Danny writes in, Ken, our CEO called me yesterday and asked me to step into the HR director role for our healthcare company. I'm 37. I do not have an MBA. I did not graduate from a notable school. I began my career in the U.S. at the age of 27. So sounds like an immigrant here. And so he just wanted to let us know that he's been working, and I'm shortening up the email. He's been working the proximity principle within the company and got that gig. Way to go, Danny. And I'm always a fan of the non-big time education plan. I am a college dropout, for those of you who wonder. I dropped out on purpose to get into the field of politics and then crossed over at 33. So I'm a big fan of those of you who think, hey, I can do this without the degree. The answer is you can. Cassie writes in, hey, Ken, I followed your guides and revamped my resume, and all of a sudden I've had multiple job interviews over the past month. They have all made comments about how they like the resume style, and it made me stand out. And this is the free one that she got, Joe, in the resume guide. Now for $9.99, you get 6. I'm so proud of this because we're trying to help you stand out. She goes, I have now 2 job offers on the table. Boy, I like those multiple job offer emails. That's exciting. Kimberly. Oh, this is cool. Joe, you sent this one to me just the other day.
Yeah.
This was exciting. I will tell you, Joe, at the risk of you making fun of me, I got a little choked up reading this one at my desk.
I would not make fun of you.
No, thank you very much. Madison would. Because Madison does not like emotions. She has real problems, but we're getting her counseling, so it's going to be great. I kid. You got to be careful. Like, I think I say something like that sarcastically, and some people are like, oh gosh, what's wrong with Madison? No, Madison's fantastic. Let's see. I spoke with Ken. This is Kimberly. She says, Ken, I spoke with you back in February about trying to step into a new role as a real estate salesperson and how I wasn't making any traction where I was. You told me, Joe, when I read these sometimes, when I read it back, I go, oh, geez, man. I hope that was the right advice, because in the moment I'm live right now and, it's real time when these people call and I think about it and then I discern and I do the best I can to give the best possible advice. So I'm reading this back and she says, you told me to leave my brokerage and hire a Buffini coach. Brian Buffini's a good friend of mine. I think he's the Dave Ramsey, the real estate professional world. And so I have no problem endorsing Brian. And I say, hey, go get a coach, a real estate coach. She goes on, she says, I was depressed and discouraged and I didn't want to do either. So she soaks on it a while, which I find to be a good move. Folks, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think and why I think it. But you, at the end of the day, you got to make the decision what you're going to do. So she sits on it a while, then she decides to go forward on it. She hires a Buffini coach. She leaves and goes to another brokerage through a friendship. Here's that connection thing again. And she says, I've been working full-time with the new partner, and it's not even been 2 months, and I now have 3 houses under contract, 2 listings rolling out this week, and a half a dozen buyers on the hook who want her to sell them a house.
That's awesome.
And she says, and more importantly, I have more knowledge about this career path than I was able to gain in the previous 10 months. Way to go, Kimberly. Joe, I want to add some applause. So next week when we do this, after I read each one, we need some different applause lines. I want to add some more juice to this because I want more people sharing their stories because I want to brag on you. And because it's on YouTube, you can show other people. You can clip it, whatever you want to do. Last one, Frank writes in, hey, Ken, I used your book, The Proximity Principle, to land not 1, but 2 jobs. I went all in, used your resume template, and started connecting with people I know that worked at the companies I was interested in. And now, a year and a half later, I submitted my resignation yesterday, and it feels real good. There we go. Way to go, Frank. We need a little bit. We need more than that. That's like a par putt. There we go. That's like a long birdie putt, and then maybe even the eagle putt to win the Ryder Cup. That's, you know what I mean? By the way, coming off the Masters, that's the way I equate applause. You know what I'm saying? We just do par putts on the Ken Coleman Show. Okay? We're talking long birdies, eagle putts, lots of pressure. That's what we're cheering. That's why we're going to cheer on the Ken Coleman Show. So know that when you call in, Joe and I will get to work on that. We'll come up with it. But
no bogeys here.
No bogeys. No double bogeys on the Ken Coleman Show. What? I saw that face, Madison.
Well, I was just thinking about the 10 that Tiger shot this weekend.
Yeah.
On one hole.
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. Little spontaneous teaching moment. We're going to get to the chat room momentarily. Tiger Woods, maybe the greatest golfer of all time, defending his championship at the Masters, gets to the famed par 3 12th hole and hits the ball in the water. This is a 150-yard hole, folks. Hits the ball in the water 3 times. Like it was like Kevin Costner in Tin Cup.
I was gonna say exactly like that.
Yeah. And it completely. I mean, for a professional golfer to get a 12 or 10 is really difficult to do. He's the greatest of all time. He hits it in the water 3 times. That's like Ken Coleman golf. Okay, like for me, that's normal. All right. But here's why I love this. He birdied, I think, 4 out of the last 5 holes. So he's on the back 9 at 12. I think he parred 13 and then 14, 15. I think this was like 4 or 5 of the last holes. He birdied. He came back. He didn't like sulk and put his club up. He's the greatest of all time. He could have just lost his mind out there and hit the ball all over the place. He steals himself and comes back. That's why I love the game of golf. Because you can have a crappy hole, and then that hole's done. You go to the next hole, tee in the ground, keep on going. Some of you are going to throw a 10 out today. Unfortunately, you're going to have a really crappy Monday, and you're going to lay an egg, and it's a 10. But you can come back and birdie tomorrow. Get your chin up. It's not the end of the world. Nobody cares. In fact, nobody's making fun of Tiger Woods today on the 10. Everybody's going, can you believe he did that? But boy, he finished well. It's pretty amazing. And that's what makes him great. So there you go. A little extra teaching today. Coming up, the secret to not being bothered by the world around you. COVID, politics, unemployment, riots. There's a lot going on in our world. How do you stay focused and not be bothered? I've got the answer coming up, but let's go to the chat room. Boy, oh boy, are we just cramming today full. We should be charging for today's show. It's so good. But we can't. We are on YouTube. Okay, Let's Dream Designs writes in, how do I confidently connect with initial clients when I'm just starting and I don't have experience in what I want to do? Okay, I feel like it's the phone call that we did with Amanda, where Amanda started off saying, I want to be an admin assistant, but I don't have any experience being an admin assistant. Okay, so what's going on here is that you've done lots of different design things, either for your friends or let's call it volunteer work, or you've creatively done some things here and there, but you've just never been a full-time professional designer. And so what you're doing is you are limiting yourself by saying, I've never held the title. I haven't had a client pay me for my first official job. And so I feel like an imposter. That's what you're saying. And by the way, welcome to the human race. You're not abnormal for thinking that. It's okay. But what we have to do, which is what I did with Amanda, is I walked her through 10 years of work experience, how she had done all of the things that she said you would need to do well and have done to be an admin assistant. So you've got to walk through the same experience. How do I confidently connect with initial clients when I'm just starting out? How do you connect with people that you do know? How do you talk about your design work and how confident you are? See, confidence comes from clarity. I've said this before. Clarity breeds confidence, and confidence breeds courage. So you get clear on the fact that you've done several design things, that your whole life, or certainly for a focused amount of time, people have complimented you on your design, creativity, and all that other stuff. And so you remind yourself, hey, I'm pretty good at this. I've done enough. I've had enough people tell me I'm good at it that's why I decided to start my own business. Ding, ding, ding. Clarity. We get out of our heads. Our heads are saying, you don't have what it takes. You don't have enough experience. People aren't going to pay you because you've never done it. That's the voice of doubt. Just sitting out here on your shoulder, lying to you. So what do? We tell doubt to shut up for a minute. We do what I just explained. We get clear. Hey, I do have the chops. And that's where the confidence comes from. Clarity breeds confidence. And then confidence will give you courage. We need clarity for the confidence to step out on the path. We need courage to stay on the path when life throws its curveballs and its detours and things at us. So that's how that works. That's what you need to do. Matthew writes in, Ken, how do you determine if a short-term contract is beneficial or not? Specifically a 6-month contract. Well, this is pretty easy. Is the short-term contract going to pay you what you would normally charge? If the answer is yes, check. Then you ask yourself, I know it's short-term, but if I do a good job in the short term, is there a possibility for a longer-term contract or an extension? If the answer is yes, check, do it. Simply put, what if you say no to the short-term contract because it's short-term? Is that in any way benefiting you? Let's flip that question. Same question, different approach. If you take the short-term contract, does it pay you? Yes. Does it set you up for at least a line on your resume and even potentially better to extend the contract? Yes. Then do it. I got to tell you, some of the biggest mistakes professionally in life is where our eyes are too big for our belly. You know, it's kind of like the kid who goes to the buffet for the first time and comes back with the plate stacked up this high, and the mom and dad are like, what are you doing? You can't even eat all that. Well, yeah, I saw the whole buffet. No, take the opportunity now. Take it. Don't try to make it bigger than it needs to be. Take it. Take it now. 844-747-2577. Okay. Quick thought, 3 minutes or less. Stay with me. Here it comes. Simple thought. I mentioned this just a moment ago. We live in uncertain times because of COVID and the pandemic. Is it up? Is it back? Is it down? How long is it going to be here? You know, all the uncertainty around COVID. Then racial tension, certainly in the United States. For my international audience, hopefully your country's not plagued with some of the social unrest we have right now. But for you Americans, obviously we've got that stuff going on as well. We've got an election that's obviously really nasty, certain for some, uncertain for the other side of the party. Whichever party you're in, you got a different view on where we sit. Here's the point. All of that together is a cocktail of confusion, of noise that can really unsettle you. And while all three are in and of themselves serious things, those situations or those factors that cause uncertainty or stress or anxiety, whatever your situation is, those situations alone and together, they've not removed your dream, and they can't keep you from your dream. And then you got 24-hour news, social media. Everybody's always talking about something negative. It's just bombarding us. And it can really bother you. So what's the secret to not being bothered in a negative emotional way, a mental way, by all of the noise? And it's really simple. You ready? Get busy and stay busy. There it is, folks. Get busy, stay busy. Now, because everything has to be couched in 2020. I mean, you could put out, Joe, the most innocuous, innocent tweet, and some moron or something on Instagram, somebody will take a shot at it. I can say, I love puppies. And somebody will go on that post and go, what about kittens? This is the world we live in. So now I need to qualify what I'm saying. Get busy, stay busy. It's the secret to not being bothered. I am not saying that you need to be a workaholic and ignore your family and friends and turn yourself into some exhausted, tired machine. Oh, kid, if I just get busy, stay busy, I'm going to get burned out. Would you stop it? What I'm saying is that when you are focused on the dream and you are getting after the dream, that's the get busy, stay busy. Then you don't have time to pay attention to all that nonsense. I got my head down. When my head is down, focused on the dream, working towards the dream, I don't have time to spend 25 minutes on social media seeing how bad the world is. Let me tell you something. If I spend a whole day here fully engaged and head down, I walk out of here, get in the car, and the world's pretty freaking awesome. But if I spend 5 minutes doom scrolling, good grief. Of course I'm going to be down. Of course I'm going to be uncertain. Of course I'm going to be worried. As opposed to going, I got people that are watching the Ken Coleman Show. I got people that are listening to the Ken Coleman Show. I got people that are buying books. I got people that need the assessment we're developing. I got people that need the career coaches that we're beginning to assemble. I got stuff to do because people need help. And if I'm busy helping people discover what I believe to be true, that they were created to fill a unique role, that they are needed, that they must do it, I don't have time to read all that garbage. Is the sky falling? No. I'm reading emails of people discovering dreams and reaching dreams. So if you don't want to be bothered, get busy, stay busy. My time is almost up. But before I let you go, remember this. You do matter, and you do have what it takes. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.